just found the first junior golf podcast hosted by a junior golfer. This is Distance to the Pin podcast. In today's episode, we're talking about the one thing junior golfers are likely not doing when it comes to shooting lower scores, and it has nothing to do with picking up a club. Today's going to be a good one, so buckle up and welcome on the ride. Welcome to the show, Dad.
Thanks, buddy. Good to be here. I wanted to start today with talking about a study that was released from the University of Scranton. It said that 92% of people fail to reach their goals without structured approaches. It's not because they don't care, and it's not because they're probably not picking goals. It's because no one ever teaches them how to properly accomplish the goals they set. So we started having you work with a buddy of mine that I reconnected with from high school, Dave Knott at Georgetown Performance. And Dave works on the most important club in our bag. What's that one?
The mind.
The mind. So Dave is a performance coach, works with all avenues of athletes, but definitely golf is one of the main ones that he does. And we started working with John about setting goals, process, and mindset. And sometimes it's easier for somebody your age to listen to somebody else that's not mom or dad. Sometimes I think you take it more seriously, and maybe some of the other junior golfers out there take it more seriously coming from an expert rather than mom or dad. Mm-hmm. So before we define goals, when you hear the word goal, what do you think about?
I feel like I'm back in 2025 winning my medal all over again.
Okay.
I feel like I get flashbacks of me putting that on my vision board, and then I feel me biting into it.
Okay, so we started introducing goals to you last year because last year was like your second year of competing?
Second year.
So we started working on getting you to focus on some things that you wanted to do instead of just going out there and hitting the ball around. You wanted specific things to do. So at the end of every year, what do?
We make these top-notch vision boards.
So you made a vision board, and it has goals from 2025. It has long-term goals. So why don't you talk about that?
So first, of course, we've got the dream goals are to be like have the golf cart. So these are like outcome goals. We want the Rolex sponsor, you want the Puma Cobra affiliates sponsor.
Basically any sponsorship Ricky Fowler has, let's be honest, right?
Yep. Yeah. Dream house and stuff. But
let's talk about some of the things that you actually did last year.
Oh, so I created a brand because there was firefighters in LA fighting against those wildfires. We created this brand to send profits to them, and it's become something where I can support anywhere in the world that's struggling with this brand. I really, really am happy about this.
So you wanted your own clothing brand, so you designed your own logo, and we talked about, if people did buy this, it would be nice to give back, and you chose the firefighters out in California, so that was a really good thing. What else?
We've also got, on here, we have the Win the Under Armour Tour, which we have.
Right, so you wanted to win, and, you finished top 3 in your first 3 tournaments, and then at the end of all 6 tournaments, you ended up becoming number 1 overall, and that was something that you didn't necessarily wish for. You wanted to play well and win and compete, and you did it. And not only that, but you got to number 1. So that was a really, really big thing. And had you not set that goal,
probably wouldn't have happened.
So let's talk about how we started the goals from last year and what's different about the goals from last year to this year.
So I'm going to put this down for a second. The goals from last year were mostly outcome goals. I wanted anything Ricky was sponsored by, right? Wanted a dream house. Those are all outcome goals.
So you got some sponsorships, right?
Yes, I did. Lab Pipeline, shout out to them. Foresight Sports, shout out to them too. So,
how about Cobra and Puma?
Not yet.
Get on it,
Not
Puma.
yet.
Come on,
man. So we've got, for process goals, we've got...
So back up. Talk about what a process goal is.
To me, a process goal is something I do, like I'm working towards, or I can control.
Right.
So like a process goal would be like practice round and then hit balls after, instead of practicing and then going out to hit.
So is that one of the specific ones for this year that you're gonna do?
Yes.
You're gonna do more on course practice, and then from that experience, you're gonna get into some more technical practice back at the range after you do that.
Yep.
And Coach Dave said something about 27 holes where you're gonna keep score, and you're gonna then take that information and go, and then you're gonna put that into your practice.
We've also got some outcome goals, like making it into Fairfield Prep this fall.
That's not a goal for this upcoming year, but it's a long-term goal. So you're looking at some of your outcome goals as kind of further down the road than just this year.
Yes.
What about how you're going to view tournaments this year?
I'm going to do more 2-day tournaments this year. I think I'm going to, in those 2-day tournaments, anything can happen one day, and the next day it's clean slate.
Right.
To me.
So you're going to play in a little bit bigger fields. You're going to play against a little bit different competition. Course length is going to be longer, and then you still want to compete in Under Armour, right?
Yeah.
But how are we gonna treat Under Armour this year?
Under Armour is going to be more of competition reps, more like practice,
like competitive practice.
Yeah, competitive practice.
Because one of your issues is that you play almost every hole like it's the
US
18th hole of
Open.
the Masters of the US Open. So we're gonna try to not live and die by each
shot. Yeah.
And that's a process goal that you can control, and that's something that, as part of your journaling, and we'll probably have like a whole pod on the journaling and the practice and everything. But we're just like today, like we're just trying to get everybody to start thinking about goals and how we look at it a little bit differently. And this was really helpful for me too, because a lot of times, I sit there and it's like, oh, I want to do this, this, and that. But you know what? Writing it down really, really makes a difference.
Yes.
So along with process, we're going to talk about my favorite subject for a minute. That's practice. Talking practice. So we have a plan for when the ground thaws and there's no more snow on the ground. But right now, we're inside. Luckily, we have a simulator in the garage. We're using that. We're putting downstairs. And that's not necessarily like easy to do, right?
Yeah, it's not.
And when we talk about setting goals and working towards accomplishing them, there's a word that I don't use in this house. What's that word?
Failure.
Well, yeah, that's a good one. But what's the other one? Starts with an M.
You're gonna give me a
motivation.
Oh.
We don't use the word motivation. Why?
Discipline. That's the word we use.
Right. But why don't we use motivation?
Because more times than not, you're not motivated to do it. You don't want to do it.
Motivation is like the emotional
desire
to want to get out and practice. And when it's cold out, when there's football on, when all of your buddies are inside doing something else, playing video games, we got to go outside, take everything out of the garage, turn the heater on, and get the work done. So discipline is what kind of helps you continue along to get to where you want to be. And it's not always easy, right?
It's not easy at all.
But committing to the practice plans that we put together, and we'll have a whole episode on practice plans too, because I love that. I love practice plans. But committing to that process of doing the work every day is important, because one of my favorites, Kobe Bryant, said, if you practiced every single day and you put in the work, imagine how much better you will be than the competition for those people who didn't.
Lots.
So I talk a lot about, if your goal is to be one of the very best, you got to be able to do what other people aren't willing to do. And that's put in work all the time. So write the goals down, we review them, but most importantly, we also adjust them, right?
Yes.
We made a big adjustment from 2025 to 2026, right?
Yeah. Yep.
A lot more process oriented. And when we have goals, does that like stress you out?
No.
Why?
Because goals are just an outline of what you need to do.
So for the parents out there, especially, if you're listening to this podcast, you either have a little one that's going to get started in golf, or you have somebody who's been maybe competing for a few years, and you know how stressful it is to play an individual sport. Playing a team sport, you drop your kid off, you give him to the coach for an hour and a half a couple of times a week, and that's how your child develops. In golf, there's a lot of parental involvement. A lot of us are figuring this out on the fly. And I think for most of us, I don't think we need to push our kids harder. I think we need to ask better questions. So when we're talking about goals, and it's a great time of year to do it, let's think about one thing you can improve on this season is a good question to ask. What's something you can control this week? Or what does success look like today? And I think your confidence grew when we kind of gave you ownership of, hey, you pick the goals, then you got to go get after it.
Yeah. So for you young junior golfers out there, goals make bad rounds so much easier because you feel like you're just filling it in, whether it's 2% or 50% of your goal.
If you're getting 1% better every day, sometimes you're going to go out there and you're going to play, and somebody's going to be better than you that day. You're not going to hit it well. But if you can take something out of that that's positive and say, okay, didn't have it today. I was committed to my mindset. I was committed to the shots that I took. When bad things happen, which they always will.
Yep.
In golf, bad things are going to happen every single round, and how we handle those situations. And if you can look at the end of your round and say, hey, my goal, when I wrote down my goal for the day was not to lose my mind if I had a bogey.
Yep.
And you, for 9 or 18 holes or over the course of a weekend, committed to that, win or lose, you win.
Yeah.
And one thing that I always say is you either win or you learn.
Yes. I want to leave you with this. Goals don't make golf easier. They make it clear on what you could focus on the next time you go on the course. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Distance to the Pin podcast. If you found this valuable, it would mean the world to me if you left a 5-star review so I can make more content like this. Also, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Peace!